People, what secrets do you know about your SO, past or present, that nobody else knows?
History 1.
I'm a white male, used to date a black woman. We had a very intense sexual relationship. She liked it rough, very rough. I'm a big guy and she liked to be tossed around, held down, and basically taken, instant white guilt. Instant softness, ... One day after a couple months of this, she asks me if I'm into role play. I told her, sure, why not? So, we get right at it. I'm doing what I do, holding her head down by her hair. And out of nowhere she says,
"Oh yeah, massa, if I fucks you real good, can you let me in from the field?"
Instant white guilt. Instant softness, ...
History 2.
My ex was very into her best friend. We used to fantasize and talk about having a threesome with her almost every time we had sex. It was kind of the only way she got off. We even fucked with her laptop open next to us with pictures of her friend out. No complaints from me at the time, but in hindsight, that was weird as fuck. They are still best friends. They are even living together this summer in the city.
History 3.
I used to spend a lot of time at my high school boyfriend's house, so his mom and I got somewhat close. One day he was out mowing the lawn or something, and I was in the house chatting with her. I guess we got on the topic of pets, and she decides to tell me a story I wish I never heard. When my ex was a toddler, they had this terrier, and his mom loved this dog. While my ex would tend to play a little rough with him, his mom would discipline him if he got too rough with the terrier. One day she had to step out of the room to do something, and my ex was left alone with the dog. Well, when his mom came into the room, the dog was dead. My ex hugged him too tight and broke its neck. After she tells me this story, she says,
"Oh, but you can never tell him. He has no idea that happened."
Right at that moment, my ex walks into the house and says,
"Oh, are you telling her about the terrier? That dog hated me."
History 3.
An ex of mine from university had never had an orgasm during sex before me. It sounds like BS, but it's actually true. The first few times we had sex, she seemed to have a really easy time coming, and I wasn't sure if she was faking or just really good at coming. Then, after about a month together, she tells me she needs to tell me something. We're in bed, but she throws a blanket over our heads to hide from spies, I guess. And in this mini blanket fort, she tells me she's never orgasmed except on her own. I think I actually laughed when she told me because it made so much sense. Fortunately, this just broke the tension and made it easier for us to talk about what she wanted in bed. Through a health combination of oral, hands, and penetration, we managed to get her orgasming regularly and proceeded to have 2 years of mind-blowing sex. Moral of the story: talk to your partners about sex. If you feel awkward or embarrassed about it, try building a blanket fort for additional security.
History 4.
When my fiancée was just a teenager, she became one of the biggest heroin dealers in a very large Midwestern city. As she could move easily between the large street gangs and the wealthy kids in the suburbs, she claims to be personally responsible for the heroin problem getting out of the inner city and into the surrounding areas. She got out before she was caught with several cars, 2 houses, and tens of thousands of dollars in cash. She is now in her 30s and clean.
History 5.
My husband is a cross-dresser. I've known since the beginning of our relationship and have been fine with it. Back then we talked about how far it goes for him and if he thought about actually becoming female. He said he thought about it. I think most cross-dressers would at least think about it. When he was younger but pretty much realized it wasn't what he wanted, he just enjoyed cross-dressing. Guess who just came out to me that he wants to transition? He's in therapy now. If he goes through with it, I'll most likely leave. I was fine with the cross-dressing, but I'm not okay with having a romantic relationship with a female. Needless to say, it's been incredibly hard and confusing the past month or so. This is a throwaway, obviously.
History 6.
When she was a freshman in college, her friend's uncle and business partner were in town for work. They offered to take the girls out to dinner at a restaurant near campus. They watched the basketball game, eat, drink, and then just hang out at the bar. Uncle and friend continue buying drinks and shots for the girls. The night progresses, Bar gets packed and eventually friend and uncle go to another bar, leaving business partner and girlfriend alone. The alcohol eventually got to her and she got kicked out of the bar. The business partner walked with her back to her dorm room. When girlfriend got up to her room, she said thanks and tried to just go in her room. He comes in anyways, sits down on the bed with her, starts rubbing her leg and trying to kiss her. She resists, but he continues grabbing her, saying he knows she has wanted him all night. He gets behind her and pulls her so her is sitting on his lap, his arms wrapped around hers. Tears or pulls her dress down and bra off. Continues kissing and grabbing while holding her on her lap, whispering how much she is going to love it. He lets go with one of his arms as he tries to unbutton her skirt and she tries to hit him in the face. He stands up, grabbing her arm and picking her up to a standing position and slaps her. See what you made me do. If you weren't such a tease, this wouldn't have to happen, he says to her as she is crying. He lets go of her arm. She falls to the ground. 521 LLB. Drunk girl being slapped by a 18 LLB man, grabs her by her hair and throat, brings her to her knees, unzips his pants and says something about how he decided to give her an easy way out. Still crying, she starts. Shortly after there's a pounding at the door. RAs, please let us in. He made her keep going, threatening her and forcing her to. Finished and she just collapsed on the floor crying. The police arrive and after warning for them to open up, unlocked the door, entering with guns drawn. The guy is arrested, taken away. She later found out the guy was a field agent with a 3-letter agency and was fired from his job, lost his pension and wife divorced him because of this.
History 7.
I, girl, for the record, have been with my boyfriend for 4 years. A few months ago, I found out that he has a sex addiction problem. He goes to gay cruising areas like parks and sex shops and basically just sucks a bunch of dicks. He said he's lost count of how many dicks he has sucked in total, but it's probably a few hundred. When I asked him if he'd done any but sex with the strangers, he affirmed that he'd given and received that several times too. Despite this, he still considers himself straight. Right now, he's a little over 1 year sober. Yup, you read that right. 1 year when we've been together for 4. We're trying to work through it. If there was a Jerry Springer show for bookish, nerdy, average, middle-class white people, we could be on it.
History 8.
My ex accidentally drank a whole lot of my piss mixed with Mountain Dew. On the way back from a party at her brother's house, I had to violently piss while on the interstate and resorted to pissing in one of those large Arby's cups. 20 minutes later, we're blaring some nostalgic Taking Back Sunday and singing at the top of our lungs. She reaches down and grabs the drink and starts chugging from it. By the time I noticed and started screaming at her to stop, the music was too loud and the damage was done.
History 9.
Throw away for obvious reasons. We live in an emerging country. One of the BRICS. Won't be more specific. She has a company that fuels millions from the government to bank accounts to tax havens like Monaco, Barbados and Nassau. It's a lot of money, so much that the 3 banks in Nassau she uses are not taking any more. She has a construction company that builds for the government. She dodges taxes like crazy and has millions in cold bank accounts in different names. She also builds for private contracts and evades the taxes, sending all that money to Dubai, putting in an investment fund with numbered unidentified shares, then sending it also to the previously mentioned tax havens. She has a private jet and flies all that money to these countries once every 2 months. Truly a disgusting person. She acts all innocent and thinks she's always right. Told me all this shit because she was in love with me, and I didn't care, because I was also in love like an idiot. Until we broke up, she had a crazy jealousy fit because of her daddy issues and broke it off with me. Good riddance. I don't expect anyone to believe me, but this is a throwaway, so I obviously don't care for this karma. It's just that I never told this to anyone. It's not my business. So I just wanted to be able to share this once.
History 10.
Probably a little late on this one, but I met this girl at the very start of this school year, both our freshman year. We had a really intense fling that involved a lot of sex and fighting. She went to a very prestigious girls' boarding school on the East Coast for high school. The school was really competitive and she was feeling immense pressure from her parents to get good grades. She struggled with calculus, shocker, and she was about to end the semester with a shitty grade. The teacher emails her to set up a meeting about her grade. She goes to his office and they start talking about her grade and the situation. Pretty quickly she starts crying because who the fuck wouldn't? It's some difficult shit. The teacher married with kids comes around his desk and says that they might be able to make an arrangement. He undoes his belt and pushes her head towards his dick and she sucks him off with tears still rolling down her cheeks. You know what grade a rape is worth? B fucking minus. That girl did some fucked up shit to me later, but every time I think about that story, all I feel is sad and empty. Oh yeah, one more thing. This happened at the end of her junior year of high school. I feel so bad for her.
History 11.
God, where to begin? She cheated on every boyfriend she had, including me, did insane amounts of drugs with most of them including me, had a three-way with two mutual friends who now won't speak to each other. Nobody knows what happened in that room, but the three of them, and none of them are talking. Disappeared for 2 weeks on me, her parents, and her friends, and came back with a black eye and a broken rib and wouldn't tell anyone where she'd been or what happened. Spoiler alert, got high and ran off with her coke dealer who beat and raped her. Got pregnant by a guy, told him it was his. He told her to get lost. Then she told me it was mine. And I took her to have an abortion, her third, fourth, whereupon she left. She got pregnant by a subsequent boyfriend who found out a lot of this shit and then dumped her. And now is married and has another kid by some rube who knows none of these. At least, that's the word on the street. I was lucky enough to run into her at a mutual friend's wedding a couple years back. She looks like a sea hag now. She used to be super hot.
That was all for today. Thanks for watching, and remember,
Reddit real hit stuck east. Reddit real hit stuck east.